Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about an important topic, which is the difference between a highly qualified specialist work permit and the qualified specialist list of professions which allow for a national to obtain residency and even Russian citizenship. So let's start with a highly qualified specialist. So highly qualified specialist is a special type of the work permit which is issued to a foreign national for the period of up to 3 years, and it comes with a 3-year work visa. And the main requirement for obtaining such a work permit is basically the amount of salary that employer is ready to pay to such a foreign national. The standard amount of salary to such foreign national is 2 million rubles, which is approximately right now with the current rate is about 32,260 US dollars as of current rate, yeah, which is approximately 2,700 US dollars a month, and that's a gross salary. What I mean gross is that it includes the individual income tax, which is the employee tax, yeah, and the standard rate is flat rate is 13%. Now, the highly qualified specialist is actually an amazing type of the work permit. In case you would like to uh, reside in Russia, work in Russia, and why it is that good? Because you get from day one a flat taxation rate, which is 13%, as I said. Yeah, you get your work permit within approximately 4 weeks. Uh, it's that fast. It's very beneficial for the employer because employer doesn't need to obtain quota slots for such foreign nationals. Employer doesn't need to go through the labor market test, and labor market test is basically a permission from the Russian labor authorities to employ foreign national, uh, because Russian labor authorities would always try to give the employer some CVs of unemployed Russians and even send Russians unemployed to the employer and say, listen, we have candidates that may fit your position, so make an interview with them. Yeah. So with the highly qualified specialist, employers don't need to do that, and also employers do not need to pay employer taxes. And the employer taxes is taxes that employers pay for pretty much any individual except for highly qualified specialists. The rate is 30.02%, and it's a regressive scale. So the higher is the salary, the lower is the effective rate for the employer taxes. So for the highly qualified specialist, this employer taxes equal to 0.2%, which is accident insurance tax, and which is approximately 10 bucks a month. So it is very beneficial for the employers to employ foreigners even than the Russians, because for the Russians you have the pension taxes and the employer taxes. So again, the highly qualified specialist is a very good type of a work permit in order to work in Russia long term. What is the list of qualified professions? It's a list which was extended in May 2022 from 135 professions to approximately 220 professions, and foreign nationals that work in the profession from the list for at least 6 months can apply for permanent residency in Russia, and after 12 months, such foreign national can apply for Russian citizenship. And again, the highly qualified specialist can be any job title. It can be, I don't know, general director, it can be cleaner, it doesn't matter. It's the main is the salary. With the list of job titles, in order to eventually apply for residency, foreign national has to be specifically employed in the specific job title from the list. So what is the process of getting this work permit in one of the professions from the list? So a standard work permit, which is a 1-year work permit, is a tough thing to get. And here is why. Because an employer has to obtain a special quota long before employer wants to employ foreign national. The quota is obtained from the regional local labor department, but even if employer obtains the quota, employer will have to go through the labor market test. And as I mentioned before, this will include basically informing labor authorities about the vacancy that employer has, and then getting Russian unemployed, having interviews with them, and gently saying, thank you, no, we need another person, and that's, for example, a native speaker with these qualifications, etc., etc. After the employer passes the labor market test, then employer goes to the immigration, obtains employment permit for the company, and then goes and obtains individual work permit, then invitation letter, visa. The whole process may take 4-5 months. The only job titles from the list that don't require obtaining work permit by the law are the job titles connected with teaching positions. It's stated in the law that teachers do not need work permit, so the employers don't need to get quota, labor market test, employment permit. They just literally need to have special license to provide educational services, and then they can employ foreign nationals as teachers. And the process may take 3-4 weeks, yeah, which is very fast. So the importance of understanding the difference between the two types is from the angle of obtaining residency. So as you know already, working in the job from the list, and the job title from the list, allows you to obtain residency and citizenship. And as I mentioned before, apart from the teacher positions, all the other positions require the employer obtaining the work permit for you. Yeah, and in the process of getting work permit, residency, and then citizenship, the hardest one would be to obtain a work permit. It's much easier to get residency and even citizenship than getting the work permit for the employer for the positions from the special list. If we go back to the highly qualified specialists, here is an interesting thing. Foreign national that works as a highly qualified specialist and has this work permit in hand can go and apply for residency next day from the moment such person received the work permit. But this residency will be issued for the period that the work permit is issued for. So how good is this residency? Well, actually, this residency is a residency as the other one, but it's limited in time. And there is no route further on for citizenship unless you hold this residency for 5 years, and after having residency in Russia for 5 years, anyone can apply for citizenship just because of the 5-year period holding over residency. So, but it's not a simplified ground to apply for citizenship. It's a general ground, yeah, after 5 years. So another thing with the highly qualified specialist work permit and then plus residency, which is basically your right, yeah, to apply for residency. It's not employer connected, the residency, yeah, although it's linked to the validity of the work permit, but it's your right to do it, to go and to apply. But there is one thing that you need to be aware, and you need to make your employer aware, is once you get the residency based on the 3-year highly qualified specialist work permit, your tax status changes, and it changes mainly for the employer. From the moment you get your residency based on the highly qualified specialist work permit, employer will have to pay employer taxes, which is pension contributions, social fund contributions, medical insurance contributions, and the effective tax rate on this salary, which is about minimum required one, which is $2,700 a month, the additional tax burden on the employer, which employer will have to pay from his own pocket, is approximately 15%, which is, I would say, around $450 US a month. So you need to be aware that if you use this route, your employer will get a surprise of necessity to pay additional taxes once you get your residency. And plus, this residency will not lead you to citizenship on simplified grounds, especially now. There is a draft of the law right now in the Russian parliament, which says that if foreign national works as a highly qualified specialist, obtained residency based on this highly qualified specialist, and has held this residency for 2 years, such foreign national can apply for an indefinite residency. Okay, that's a good thing if they will adopt this law, but still there is no simplified route to citizenship, unlike with the list of professions, yeah, where you pretty much guaranteed that you will get your citizenship after 12 months of employment. At first you will have to get your residency after 6 months, but then you can apply for citizenship, unless, as I mentioned it in my other videos before, there is also another draft of the law that will take the citizenship ground out of this possibility to get citizenship through employment. We very much hope that this will not happen, that they will keep the possibility to obtain citizenship based on the list of of job titles. For now it's still valid, but we don't know when it will change. But still it's right now the possibility. So this video is basically to alert you between the two types of work permits and how they affect the possibility to obtain residency and citizenship. I hope you found it interesting, and we'll be sharing some more videos in the future. Thank you.